si Attorney Del Rosario. Before we proceed to the next interpellator, andito po si COA Chairman Mike Aguinaldo. May I recognize COA Chairman Mike? Good afternoon po. Do we have Chairman Mike Aguinaldo?
Mr. Chairman.
Gandang hapon po.
Yes, magandang hapon, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, tanong lang kasi nung last hearing namin, ang sabi po ng PhilHealth, yung po mga notice of disallowances po nila, hanggang ngayon nakapending po sa inyo. Ito po bang notice of disallowances since 2013 po to? O ito lang yung recent?
I don't have the list with me right now, pero we have a list of those. But predominantly, yung mga notices of disallowance nila pertain to benefits. Yung mga benefits that were given to the employees above and beyond what is allowed by the GCG.
Sige po, Chairman Mike. Dr. Pargas, siguro, Tom 2013, ang sinabi nyo nakapending kayo, may mga notice of disallowances. Would that be in your sector or would that be in the legal or account?
It's with our finance.
Finance. So, Mr. Limsiaco. Mr. Limsiaco.
Yes, sir, Your Honor. Ano yun, sir? Anong tanong po, sir?
Yung 2013 po na ba na mga notice of disallowances, 2013, 2014, 15, 16, yung po ba ay na-cure na yung mga overpayment sa mga benefits o pending po yun sa COA?
Mr. Chair, Your Honor, ang disallowances natin on the part of the benefits still nasa COA pa yung iba po, Mr. Chair. Ang iba ay nasa regional COA level. Ang iba po ay nasa naka-MR po with the COA proper, and then iba po ay nasa Supreme, Mr. Chair.
Meron kayong pending sa regional level, may pending kayo sa national level. Magkano ho ang total na to? If you put it together.
Mr. Chair, Your Honor, ang total po nito ay lahat ng mga disallowances, benefits, at kasama po yung claims po natin, ay nasa 6.852 billion, Your Honor.
6.8 billion.
Yes po.
Pero yung notice of disallowances nyo, dun lang ho sa may benefits at saka benefit claims.
Mr. Chair, Your Honor, yes po, mga benefits po ito at saka claims natin, including may mga MOA pati, Mr. Chair, mga traveling expenses po. Mr.
Yes.
Chair.
Chairman Mike, kung pwede ho ma-raise to kasi meron ho kaming since 2013, 17, no? Itong 18 ho natin, basta rin ho yan recently. Parati pong findings ninyo may overpayment na sinasabi on the benefit claims. Paano po natin iti-treat yun? Do we now? Kasi ito naging 6.8 na of disallowance. I think it would be bigger than the 6.8 disallowance. Chairman Mike?
Yes. What we mean by overpayment of benefits, these are benefits to PhilHealth employees. Hindi yung hindi po yung mga claims ng mga hospitals or so. There might be a couple of those. Some of them might be money claims. Pero ang bulk nun po is overpayment of benefits. Yung mga bonuses, mga they have names for it, no? Like the labor management gratuity, mga ganun po.
Kunyari po, dito po 2013, I have the COA report with me. Ang sinabi po niya dito, 721 million.
Yes.
Walang supporting documents, absence of billing statements coming from healthcare providers. This is only one area. So, ang feeling ko, I'm sorry, these were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 areas na sinasabi, random audit, kulang-kulang po yung mga benefit claim vouchers at saka yung supporting statements. Ang ibig pong sabihin, na-clear na po to?
Hindi pa po. Unless there's been if there's a disallowance that has been issued, may first level of appeal po yan that goes either to the regional director or the cluster director as the case may be. And then kung may decision na yung regional or cluster director, appealable po yan sa commission proper. So there's a two-step appeal process po.
Yes, Chairman Mike. Kasi po, ang sinasabi po ni Mr. Lim Siaco, ang disallowance na lang po natin from PhilHealth is 6.8 billion. I would think if I put together or you will do a thorough audit of every year from 2013 to 2017, mas malaki po ang lalabas ditong mga problema in terms of overpayments. Chairman Mike? Okay. Nawala si Chairman Mike? Mr. Chair?
Yes po, that's possible po.
Aha. So, yun nga po, ang binabanggit ko ho, yung 2013-2014, mukha kong hindi thorough yung naging audit natin because it would seem, dun po sa latest report na 6.8 na lang ang pending, may hindi po mga na-review na tama.
Well, that's possible because in the regular course of the audit, hindi naman tinitingnan po lahat. They just do a sampling. And then it's only later that they decide whether to do a thorough special audit. Matagal ko kasing proseso yan yung special audit because they go through each and every payment that's made. So it's very time consuming, it's very labor intensive. So posible po yan.
Thank you, Chairman Mike. Ito na lang po, last question na lang before I proceed to the next interpolator. Sabi po ni Mr. Dr. Pargas, pagka-suspect sa COVID, they can avail of the 43,000. If they are only a suspect, they can already avail of the 43,000. That is very, very dangerous, Chairman Mike. Even if their policy would say so, baka po madami pang COVID sa PhilHealth kesa doon sa mismong record ng DOH. What is your opinion on that, Chairman Mike Aguinaldo?
Yeah, well, first of all, it would be a policy matter. And so the first question you ask would be, was the policy properly approved? Is the policy actually consistent with law? And so that's the first hurdle. The second, of course, would be looking at the actual utilization, no? Which you just mentioned. No? Does it tally with the numbers from the DOH? If not, why? What explanation can they proffer for that? So, yeah, I can understand how you can see it as being something that could be or would be problematic.
Thank you, Chairman Mike. Maraming salamat. And I hope within this level, Dr. Pargas, I will not accept, I will definitely oppose, and I will file a case against PhilHealth if you use your RIM for suspected cases. Because under your policy, it should be positive. Kailangan po positive. Marami din po nag-positive na hindi nag-avail ng IRM. Marami nag-positive na hindi nagpunta ng ospital. Ang danger ko dyan at ang worry ko dyan, if the funds ng 37 billion ay sasabihin na suspect ka lang, pwede mo nang gamitin, delikado po yan. Yan po talaga. Yan na yung danger natin na talaga mauubos yung pondo natin pagka sa mere suspicion or at least nilista lang ng ospital. Again, as I've said in the past, with the connivance of our PhilHealth officials, then we have a problem. Yes,
Mr. Chair, may tanong lang ako kay Chairman Mike. Isa lang po to tungkol po sa Chairman, tungkol doon sa internal audit that was conducted by COA, specifically on the information and communication technology. And they have already answered yung kanilang pong mga observation po ninyo. So ang tanong ko po ay meron na po ba kayong rejoinder doon sa kanilang pong mga sagot?
Are you referring to the IT audit
Yes,
that was done recently?
yeah, yung pong recently
Yeah.
po na
Actually, for information lang po, that audit was actually done by the Internal Audit Service of PhilHealth, hindi po COA, because what I was told by our resident auditor there is that hindi daw natuloy yung project. It was at the proposal stage. And so hindi pa nila ma-review because there was no contract yet, there was no disbursement at all. So hindi pa nila nare-review yung aspect na yon. The report that came out in the papers really came from, I think, the Internal Audit Service in PhilHealth.
Okay, pero Mr. Chairman, meron lamang akong tanong sa iyo doon, with regards doon sa mga ISSP po. Ito po yung information system strategic plan nila na approved po ng kanilang board for 2018 to 2020. Ngayon po, doon nakapaloob yung pong mga bibili nila mga IT. But unfortunately, according po doon sa internal audit, ay hindi po yun ang isinalang nila na bibilin doon po sa corporate operating budget nila. Is that subject to your audit as well, Mr. Chair?
Yes, ma-audit po yun. That would be subject to the audit. In fact, meron ng mga initial observations yung auditors namin, but it's still a work in progress, kaya hindi ko po pwedeng ma-disclose at this stage.
Okay, so maraming salamat Mr. Chairman at doon lang muna tayo. Ang klaro po ay this is subject also sa audit yung mga ISSP na approve ng kanilang board. Maraming po salamat Mr. Chair.
Thank you, DS
Ay,
Fernandez.
Mr. Chair, isa na lang po pala, may nakalimutan lang po ako. Kasi last hearing po natin, hiningi natin sa kanila yung accreditation fee na kung saan ay napapupunta po sa mga bonuses.
Yes, that
At,
was raised
dito
by
po
the
sa
Honorable Abante
Sa,
earlier.
yes, sa hiningi po nating record, Mr. Chairman, hindi po nila sinubmit ngayon. And ito rin po ang itatanong ko sana kay Chairman Mike, kung doon po sa kanilang audit report, ay yung po bang accreditation fee ng mga hospital, kasama po ba sa disallowances na ginawa po ninyo yun?
Kung saan po ginamit yung accreditation fee, I'm assuming of course it's a legal fee that they could charge, no? But any money that goes into the coffers of PhilHealth is subject to audit. So kung meron pong accreditation fee yan, how it's used, well, the revenue received, as well as how it's actually utilized, is subject to the audit.
Well, nag-ano po yan Mr. Chair, nung last hearing, binanggit po nila that ito po ay hinate based on percentage. Pinagati-hatian po ng mga PhilHealth officials and those who are accredited by them. So, I think yung pong inaantay po namin, Mr. Chair, kung yung po ba ay bawal na yung accreditation fee na pinagati-hatian po nila ay dinidisallow po ng COA.
I'll have to check if there are existing disallowances on that. But ordinarily, for something like that to be possible, meaning yung accreditation fee, paghahati-hatian, there has to be a legal basis for that. No? Kailangan may authority before pwedeng gawin yon. Hindi kusa lang pwedeng gawin yon. Kailangan merong basehan talaga. Kung walang basehan po, madidisallow talaga po yan.
So Mr. Chairman, if ever na ginawa po nila yon, there will be a basis to file a case against them.
Pwede naman po.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, maraming po salamat at balikan po natin sana yung
Thank
kasi
you.
hindi po nila naipadala
Yes.
sa atin.
Oo.
Yung pong kung magkano yung mga bonuses ng mga PhilHealth boards na nakuha para doon sa accreditation fee.
Yes, maraming salamat. Ito yung tinanong din noon ni-raise ni Honorable Minority Floor Leader Benny Abante. We now proceed to our next interpolator. The Honorable Ace Barbers is recognized. Congressman Barbers.
Hold on a minute, Mr. Chair. Yan. Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair. Bago pong lahat, I will ask the committee secretary to list my name dun sa second round para bago ko po makakalimutan. Mr. Chair, tayo po ay nasa IRM issue pa rin, ano?
Yes, Honorable Barbers.
Okay, I will try to limit my questions dun sa issue po ng IRM kasi marami pa hong ibang pwede nating tanungin tungkol sa tanungin sa PhilHealth tungkol dun sa ibang
Congressman
issues.
Barbers, pwede naman po kayong tumalon din sa ibang mga tanong as long as within your time ng 20 minutes kung may nakikita po kayong nais yun ng ipagtanong.
Okay, maraming salamat, Mr. Chair. Unang-una ho, yung pong basihan ng executive session po natin kay SVP Del Rosario, does this involve national security issues that he has to disclose to the committee? Kasi kung hindi naman po, Mr. Chair, wala naman hong basihan siguro para tayo ay mag-executive session. Unless meron siyang information that might involve national security or if he will spill the beans, pwede po natin siyang entertainin doon. Otherwise, sa tingin ko, parang it's a story of it's my word against his word, against the other person's word, etc. etc. So, yun lang. Pwede nyo na pong sagutin mamaya, Mr. Chair, para dumiretso na ho ako dito sa PhilHealth. Yung pong, ano ho ang legal basis, Mr. Del Rosario, ng IRM?
Attorney Del Rosario, recognized.
Mr. Chair, mayong hapon, Congressman. Sir,
Yeah.
the legal opinion that we issued to the PhilHealth management states that the PhilHealth Board has the authority to develop and formulate policies pertaining to provider payment mechanisms, contribution, membership, among others. This pertains to the authority of the board, and we also reminded the management on that March 17 legal opinion that the matter should be presented to the PhilHealth board.
Okay, so I suppose that there is a board resolution to this effect, no? And with that, did Exicom ask your legal opinion on this particular IRM? Meron po bang ganon?
Yes, sir. We issued that particular legal opinion, and as I said, that pertains to the authority of the board, and we took note of the past implementation of that particular policy during the other calamities that
Yes, I understand. Mr. Del Rosario, wag na ho natin balikan yung dating implementation because malayong-malayo ho ito dun sa dati. I will cite the difference later as we go along. Dito sa implementation ng IRM, nabanggit nyo kanina yung mga precedents, di ba? Pwede ho bang briefly sabihin nyo sa amin ano ho yung mga na-cite na mga precedents in order for you and the board and the Exicom to come up with an IRM specifically for this pandemic, yung ating COVID?
As far as I remember, Your Honor, Mr. Chairman, our legal opinion did not specify the instances where IRM policy was implemented. But to my best recollection, the IRM was implemented during the time of Typhoon Undoy, Typhoon Yolanda, the Marawi siege, and Taal volcano eruption, Mr. Chairman, Your Honor.
Yeah, yun na nga yung mga basihan ninyo sa fortuitous events, di ba? Ondoy, Taal, Marawi, all these things, no, that where IRM was implemented, correct? At itong issuances of the IRM or the implementation of the IRM before, marami kasing mga questions tungkol dun sa previous implementations ninyo dun sa IRM. I don't know if you're already with the PhilHealth during that time, no? And gusto ko lang kasing ma-clarify, can you educate me, ano ibig sabihin ng IRM?
IRM, Mr. Chairman, based on the PhilHealth issuances, stands for Interim Reimbursement Mechanism.
So very clear ho tayo doon, reimbursement. Di ba po? So reimbursement meaning, in my little knowledge of the Webster's meaning of the reimbursement is that when a service or a procurement happen, i-reimburse nyo. Babayaran nyo. Di ba?
That's Mr. Chairman, that's the plain meaning of the word reimbursement.
Is there any other meaning other than the plain meaning, attorney?
Sir, but it was used differently by PhilHealth for this purpose.
That's precisely my next point. It says IRM, reimbursement. So there is nowhere in any of your memorandums, your circulars, not even during the board meetings that you had, that you discussed and approved and allowed and authorized yung issuances of cash advances. Tama? Kasi issuance of cash advances using public funds might constitute, yun na nga, sinasabi kanina ni Congressman Remulla, malversation. Di ba po ba? Kasi nasa Procurement Act natin, nasa batas natin, that you can only disburse funds kapag meron na pong service na naibayad o hindi kaya meron na ho kayong napili na dumaan sa isang proseso. Tama po ba ako doon?
I understand your point, Mr. Chairman, but for the purposes of discussion and based on my understanding of PhilHealth policies, the provisions of the Universal Healthcare Act actually directs the shift to what we call prospective payment, Your Honor, and this is actually an advance payment. No?
Excuse me, attorney, excuse me po. No? Itong IRM, you cannot use the Universal Health Care. Can you cite the provision first? Kung ano yung nagsasaad doon sa Universal Health Care na pwede kayong mag-advance dito sa pondong ito?
Yes, sir. The UHC Act, I don't remember the exact provision.
That's exactly my point.
But
Because you know your justification and your basis, you will easily answer the committee. So, in other words, and ito hong ating IRM, Attorney Del Rosario, sa aking palagay, unang-una, hindi ho ito a form of cash advance. Bakit? Kasi it is illegal for public funds to be disbursed to private entities without following the provisions of our procurement law. Diba? Yun nga, yung services rendered at saka yung mga napili. Second, it is also not an interest-free loan. No? Hindi naman tayo nagpapautang na okay, mangutang kayo, walang interest yan. Wala tayong ganon. Kasi nilabas niyo yung pera, it's supposed to have been incurred interests and earned for the government. Dahil nilabas nyo, napakalaking sayang. Dito ho sa attorney, dito sa yung bigyan nyo nga ho kami ng idea quickly kung ano yung SOP, yung Standard Operating Procedure to guide the IRM implementation from your head office down to the regional offices. Quickly lang.
I'm not the best person to discuss that, Your Honor. I have no hand in the crafting of the SOP. If the chairman will allow it, I will refer you to our corporate counsel who actually prepared for the discussion on the IRM.
Aren't you the SVP for legal?
Yes, sir. But we have the corporate council. The legal offices at PhilHealth is composed of 4 offices, and I only supervise one office with 4 departments. But the legal offices under the regions are under the supervision of the operation sector. The arbitration office, which decides on the cases, is under a separate office, and we have a corporate counsel who reviews the issuances.
Okay, ganito na lang. Being the SVP legal, did you or your office issue a legal opinion on the viability of this IRM program? Kasi pinresent ng board, no, nandoon kayo lahat. Definitely may pondong required at madi-disburse dito. Hindi ba nagtanong yung board ng inyong opinion tungkol dito?
The board did not ask for our opinion, Mr. Chairman, but we provided the President and CEO the opinion pertaining to IRM that it is within the authority of the board to determine payment mechanisms. And,
payment mechanisms, very clear ho tayo dyan, payment mechanisms. Pero I'm referring to advance payments. Is that part of the mandate of or the purview of the IRM na mag-allow ng advance payments? Kaya nga, di ba, interim reimbursement eh. Otherwise, you could have named it interim reimbursement and advance payments. Am I correct?
Yes, sir. The opinion did not touch on the issue on advance payment. What the opinion stated is that the PhilHealth Board has the authority to formulate policies on provider payment mechanisms.
Yun na nga medyo lumalayo tayo dun sa tanong ko attorney eh. Kasi nga, 'di ba, I believe that since a board has come up with that kind of a policy, ngayon the first or the second next step is that they will ask the opinion of the legal department kung ito ba'y tama, ito ba'y legal, ito ba'y pasok dun sa batas at hindi ba tayo maiipit dito, because to me as it seems that after you disburse those funds without a legal basis. Therefore, that to my mind, it constitutes a violation of the law, which is a technical malversation or malversation of funds. Kasi nga, dapat nga, bago yan niro-roll out yung mga programa, unang-unang tatanungin yung legal. Ikaw nandyan sa opisina. You could have given your opinion, oy, bawal yan, because there is a law. Am I made to believe, Attorney Del Rosario, that you agreed to the board that there is no problem, there is no violation of any law if we implement an advance payment under the IRM program? Is that correct?
In my opinion, Mr. Chairman, I believe that the board has acted within its authority in the implementation of the interim reimbursement mechanism, not only for COVID but for the past instances, Mr. Chair.
Yung
Honorable
past
Barbers.
instances, okay. Yes,
Honorable
Mr.
Barbers.
Chairman. Yes,
Yes.
Mr. Chairman.
I just want to clarify, Attorney Del Rosario, I don't think the board ever agreed to the IRM being discussed now. Yung pong pinag-usapan nyo na IRM, tinitingnan ko lahat ng minutes nyo, wala namang ganyan pong usapan eh. Lahat po to COVID, lahat po to sinasabi, ilalagay natin sa mga COVID hospitals. Yung binabanggit ni Congressman Barbers, these were all, the policy was approved, but in terms of execution, nag-iba po kayo. Kasi sinasabi nyo na ngayon, pwede nang gamitin kahit hindi COVID. Tama po ba, Attorney Del Rosario?
Mr. Chair, I'm not privy to all the discussions of the PhilHealth Board, but we do have members of the board present, so you can address your questions to them if you like, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Attorney Del Unless the Honorable Barbers would like to, andito po yung board eh, kasi parang sa akin po iba Congressman Barbers yung inaprubahan na polisiya at iba yung naging implementation. Unless you want
Exactly.
to report here.
Exactly my point, Mr. Chair. Kasi nga po, kaya ako nagtatanong kung meron ho bang opinion na inisyu ang legal department. Because otherwise, kung merong legal opinion to, di sana bigyan nyo nga kami ng kopya. Kung meron nga ba kayong ginawang opinion na dito mula sa iyong opisina, Attorney Del Rosario. I will ask the members of the board later, but I'd like to focus first on Attorney Del Rosario for the reason that lahat po naman ng ito, hindi ho sana mangyayari itong disbursement of funds without any programs for that matter that PhilHealth will roll out. Lahat ho yan, hinihingian ho yan ng legal opinion from the legal department. Para ho, protektado sila, wala ho silang tatamaang batas at wala ho silang mababiolate. Kaya nga ho, gusto kong malaman, kung meron man, may I ask Mr. Chair that Attorney Del Rosario submit to the committee whatever legal opinion his office has rendered in the implementation and even in the formulation of the IRM scheme para makita natin. Is that all right, Mr. Chair?
Yes, Attorney Del Rosario, can you kindly
Yes, sir. We will
furnish?
submit all pertinent legal opinions on the matter.
Congressman Barbers, I just want to inform you, si Board Member Kabading is also in Zoom. And kung ano daw pong, I think, kung anong kailangan mong information, pwede rin niyang ibagi sa'yo.
Sige, okay, tama. Salamat po, Mr. Chair. Board Member Kabading, can you hear me?
Board Member Kabading is recognized.
Kasi, Mr. Chair, habang wala pa si Mr. Kabading, dun lang sa recipients ng IRM, ang dami ng question, which was raised earlier by Congressman Remulla, Congressman Dan Fernandez, and Congressman Barsaga, and even the chair, no? Sabi nila, ang daming naging recipient ng IRM na pondo na hindi naman supposed to be dapat, no? Maraming non-accredited hospitals na isyuhan. Maraming hospitals with pending cases, no? Nasa office ni ano yan, I'm sure nasa office ni Attorney Del Rosario yan. Yung mga non-hospital facilities na hindi din dapat, like dialysis clinics, etc., lying-ins, etc., etc. So, ang next ko nga sanang itatanong, meron bang special reason why PhilHealth allowed advance payments to non-credited HCIs? No, kagaya pong mga nabanggit ko ngayon. Ewan ko kung sino pwedeng sumagot doon sa kanila.
Can we request Board Member Kabading to unmute? Kasi hindi ko ata siya...
Oh yes. Good afternoon po, Congressman and Congressman Mike Defensor and Congressman Barbers.
Maganda
Yes
nga po, Board Member Kabading, I will... Opo, para po...
Mr. Kamadin, can you hear me?
Oh yeah. That's it. That's good. Yeah,
Itatanong ko lang, you were a member of the board, di ba? Nung napag-usapan, napag-agrihan at naaprubahan ninyo yung pag-implement ng IRM. Tama
Yes.
po ba yun? Okay. So in your discussion, was there ever a point in your discussion in the board, no, that asked for a legal opinion from Mr. Del Rosario?
I'm sorry, Senator. I could not remember. It's quite matagal-tagal na po.
Okay, so hindi niyo po matandaan. So
Yeah. That's it.
oo. Kasi nakakapagtaka nga ho, looking at the funds that were released, no, for this purpose, yung IRM, daming question sa isipan natin at ng isipan ng taong bayan. One,
Yes.
di ba? Maraming nakatanggap o yung mga fund recipients na hindi naman dapat, kagaya nung nabanggit ko kanina, yung non-accredited hospitals, hospitals with pending administrative cases, yung clinics, no, like dialysis clinics, etc., etc. Kaya nga, ang next kong sanang tanong, meron bang special reason sa tingin nyo, sa inyong opinion lang, kung bakit itong mga HCIs na ito, na may kaso at yung mga non-accredited, nakakatanggap po ng pondo sa IRM?
That level of releasing funds to those that have cases, myself is surprised to that because we were kept on the dark with respect to the discussion whether or not these hospital code cases are could receive. Actually, diyan ko na lang po nalaman ngayon sa discussion na yung palang listang na mga yan include those that have cases. So, I'm just surprised as maybe as you are guys, Congressman.
Okay, salamat. Kasi nga, kaya nga nabanggit ko, parehas tayo at mga taong bayan nagtatanong, bakit naman napaka-special naman ito? Hindi ho kaya ay may mga relationships, may pagiging... we will discover that eventually, Mr. Chair, no? Sa tingin ko. At dadating din tayo sa puntong yan. Ngayon, ito hong usapan ninyo sa board, no, nung napag-usapan niyo na gumawa tayo ng IRM para matulungan natin dahil may instructions ang ating pangulo na tulungan lahat ng mga ospital na mag-entertain o magti-treat ng mga COVID patients. Napag-usapan niyo ba doon na yung mga regulations, yung mga policies in order for the PhilHealth to make sure or ensure the public na safe po yung pera nila. Kunyari, pag nag-liquidate, pagka nag-submit na ho ng kanilang billing yung mga ospital, meron ho bang polisiya ang PhilHealth na nire-require yung lahat ng mga ospital na dapat monthly meron kayong sinasubmit na periodic reports, meron kayong sinasubmit na mga utilization reports, etc., etc. Kasi malawak ko yung sakop itong IRM na ito eh.
Yeah, yung idea of liquidation, I was also surprised because it was never discussed. How long will it take? Like they were saying, 120 days because ano daw yan because of the COVID. But what I was another surprise though is there was a memo issued. I just forgot the number though, but it was issued making the liquidation of IRM optional. And during the board meeting, I questioned this because I thought this was really thought to be to issue such. Can you imagine issuing this IRM, making the liquidation optional? I don't know where did he get this idea. Where in fact releasing it by itself, it's a government fund, but that's just automatic that has to be reimbursed. And the fact that this one is happening makes that yung kwento na favoritism, yung kwentong binigyan na hindi naman COVID referral hospital, the money that were given to them might be the making it a room for them to maneuver dahil down sa issuance of making it optional.
Yes.
Because originally, if you thought if it is COVID, that should be COVID. And why you are giving it to non-COVID? Now you will issue a memorandum making it optional. Where did you get that idea?
Tama.
These are things in the board that I'm so surprised with.
I absolutely agree with you, Mr. Kabading, no. Kaya nga, Mr. Chair, no, dito sa usapin ng IRM, very clear, no, that there was in the implementation of this, nakita natin na marami talagang questionable, and including dun sa disbursement, including dun sa recipients, maraming butas itong kaya nga makakasagot ho nito. If indeed there was really an opinion, a legal opinion from Attorney Del Rosario, then we want him to submit to the committee so that alam natin that from the beginning, the people that should implement IRM are already aware of the possible violations if they do not comply with the provisions of any existing law, Mr. Chair. So obviously, yung IRM, malaki ang problema po dito. I will not anymore belabor yung IRM. Kasi kanina ko pa napapansin, also in the last hearing, itong si Dr. Vic Vargas. Tanong ko lang ho, ano ho bang Dr. Rusha, di ba po, Mr. Chair?
Yes, correction, Honorable Barbers, it's not Dr. Vic, but Dr. Ish Pargas.
I'm sorry. Medyo kakapanood ko lang nung pelikula ni Pugo tsaka ni Tugo kanina. Naalala ko lang. Sorry. Dr. Pargas, may I know if you're a doctor, ano pong specialization niyo?
Yes, Mr.
Dr. Pargas.
I'm a general practitioner, sir.
So, general practitioner. It seems that in all your answers to the questions of the members of the Senate and members of the House, parang kayo yung kayo yung gumagawa nung mga package o pakete dun sa case rate policy, di ba? Parang kayo nagde-determine magkano yung dapat bayad, ano yung range, no? Kayo